The question around the fees issue at universities still remains unanswered, and it's expected that the Finance Minister will shed light on this during his speech. Meanwhile, the Commission of Inquiry into Higher Education and Training, or the Fees Commission, is expected to release its findings into this by the middle of the year. It's investigating the feasibility of free tertiary education in the country. Our reporter Sipho Stuurman is at today's round of talks at the Commission, and he joins us now for an update. Sipho, good afternoon. We believe there's an independent financial expert there today, so I would imagine a lot of this would be on how to redirect funds.
Very good afternoon to you, Natasha, and our viewers at home. Indeed, we do have Kanti Pai here, who is an economist, giving in his opinions on the matter. The way that the Commission is structured, of course, is that experts from all stakeholders that have a stake in this matter are invited to come and give their opinions and give their presentation. So he came himself as an individual to also weigh in on the matter, because this is a question that is affecting the country at large. And what he mentioned, which I found to be of interest, is that he mentioned that the country cannot afford free higher education for all without raising taxes or borrowing more. And he mentioned that neither of those two options are desirable right now. And one of the submissions he put forward was that perhaps the country should consider a graduate tax, meaning that people who receive free education would have to be taxed when they graduate. So these are some of the submissions that the Commission is hearing, and obviously their job, as you mentioned in that intro, will be to take all of this in and then come up with that final report. And on that point of the final report, I do have the spokesperson of the Fees Commission with me, Musa Ndwandwe. If you can just please tell us, at what stage is the Commission at, and are you on track to that final report?
Yes, thanks very much. We are fast approaching the final stages for public hearings. These are the very last public hearings. From there on, we expect to find enough time to draft the report and to be able to present it to the President. And given that we have just more than 2 months, we are very confident that we'll be able to beat the deadline.
All right. Well, your draft report was rather heavily criticized. I remember speaking to some students; they called it a love letter because it kind of lacked in content. Can you assure us that with the final report, we are likely to get firm recommendations? Is it going to have a bit of a strong punch?
Yes, we've always explained that the so-called draft report was actually our communication with the Office of the President, and it was part of the requirements since we had asked for the extension. This is the real report that we're working on, and it will be considering all the submissions that have been put forward to us. And we are now in the practical stages where we're looking to unearth the hidden billions so that higher education and training can be funded appropriately in this country.
All right. Well, there you have it, Natasha, the Fees Commission spokesperson, telling us that they are on track in terms of finalizing that report that everyone has their attention on. You will remember Minister Bladen Nzimande and even the President kept on referring to the Fees Commission. So there is a lot of importance on what comes out of this Fees Commission.
All right, Sipho, thank you so much. Sipho Stuurman there live from Pretoria at the Fees Commission.